Welcome to our brand new, super exciting XL Carp monthly blog. So we're going to be doing this down at the incredible syndicate here in Essex, Fryerning Fisheries, and we're going to present it to you guys the fishery roundup that's been going on every month. This one is particularly special. We're kicking off with a real bang because we're going to be doing an end of year review special. So we're approaching Christmas now. The winter sun's low in the sky over there. It's very cold. There's a couple of people on the lakes. We'll touch on that in a minute, but we're going to look back over what an exceptional year 2018 has been. So many personal bests landed, rod bending action across all three lakes, but more action on the main lake than we've ever seen before. It's still a hard lake, but the fish that have been coming out have been nothing short of mind-boggling, really. I've been coming down here since 2012. Absolutely love the place. It's the finest syndicate setup I've ever fished in the country, and I'm definitely renewing again for 2019, so hopefully I'll see you down here. The lakes have been pretty quiet, which I think nationally it's I travel around a lot through fishing work, and a lot of lakes around the country have been very quiet in 2018, which is probably a combination of different factors. The lakes are still fairly quiet now. If you're into your winter action, certainly the winter form on all three of the lakes down at Fryerning is incredible. Well, I don't think you've got anywhere you could go where you could realistically target a 40 or even 50 pound carp in the months of January or February. So incredible pedigree to go back on there. So I'll be renewing. It's an amazing site, as I said, and we're going to continue now and have a little look back through some of the amazing catches in 2018. So the year started off very quietly. The weather was cold, to say the least. We had the beast from the east thrown into the mix, and the fishing nationally was hard. Not an awful lot of people were coming down to Fryerning, and you can see that in the catch report books. Not a huge amount of fish being caught, but there were hardly any anglers. The ones that did venture out found that the rewards could be bountiful indeed. And in one particularly cold snap of weather, the Valley Lake produced no less than 3 different 30-pounders. The Valley Lake is really coming on to be a very special water in its own right. It used to be what I would call a lads and dads water. You know, you could get loads of action there, and it's transforming itself slowly into a very serious specimen water with a lot of 30-pounders and a 40-pound common, which is incredible to look at. So the year not only kicked off well with the Valley Lake, but also the Carp Lake, which is super reliable in really cold weather. Plenty of fish coming out of there, again, to very few anglers who were brave in the weather, but proving again the incredible winter pedigree that Fryerning does have. On the main lake, nothing came out for a little while, but the first fish that did come out really turned some heads and got some tongues wagging. It was no less than what many would say the jewel in the main lake herself, which was the Mommon, a weight of 52 pounds and 10 ounces to Brian Smith. The Mommon itself is quite a rarely caught fish, and a 50-pound common of UK pedigree like that, in my book, makes it one of the best fish in the country. It was the first fish out of the whole year, and that certainly got people down here, and suddenly the place was coming alive with anglers and also fish activity, because as we moved into the beginning of April, the weather suddenly put on a warm spurt and the fish started to come out in big numbers. As the weather ticked into April, we got a blast of seriously warm weather came in from nowhere, and suddenly it went from winter into summer, seemingly bypassing spring completely. That had a serious effect on the fishing on the main lake, and no less than 17 carp came out in a 2-week period. The pick of that bunch would have to be the wood carving, which arguably one of the most incredible looking carp in the country. Very rarely caught indeed, and that appeared at 48 pound, having been on the missing list for a long period of time. In addition to that, the Mommon came out again, which is very unusual for that fish because he's not a very friendly one, particularly friendly, and that reached a weight of 54 pounds. And on top of that, mixed in of those other 17 odd fish, were 5 40-pounders and 10 over 35 pounds. So absolutely mind-blowing weights. No sooner was that done than the weather got super hot and the fish started to spawn. I think that the mark of any good fishery is when the management take it upon themselves to shut the site down and give the fish the respect of a well-earned break that they really deserve. That's something that Fryerning has done regularly. The fishery management is absolutely second to none. The fish come first, second and third. That's why we come here. Apart from the beautiful surroundings, as you guys know, it's all about the fish. So looking after them is of paramount importance. So the lake was shut for a while. The fish had a good spawn. They were allowed to recover. The lake was continued to be fed by the management, who have this feeding program of pellets which goes on throughout the year, and it's augmenting these huge weights that we're seeing. Also, importantly, during the winter months, it will keep the fish on the move and keeping them active. And I think one of the things that helps to make this place such a good winter fishery is that feeding program. So the spawning was done and dusted, the lake was shut for a rest, and then everybody came back with a vengeance in May. Not only did all the lakes fish their absolute heads off despite the very, very low numbers of anglers that were here and very, very bad weather conditions due to the record-breaking summer, but the main lake itself, which has never been a walkover, produced more than 300 different carp, which is more than double that it produced in the year of 2017. Now that is down to good fishery management. There's been a few younger fish injected, which you need to do to keep the stock alive and keep everything moving forward. But those fish are coming through very, very quickly as well. The bigger fish, quite often what happens when you put stock fish in, the bigger fish get more competitive. So you can get a bigger catch return from your overall lake. So more fish have been out than ever before. 300 fish out in a year from this lake, unheard of. So a record-breaking year, and that, as I said, is in spite of appalling weather conditions and very, very low angler footfall. Without question, the catch of the year from the main lake fell to Steve Bertram, who's been a member down here for a long time. He caught no less than 17 carp in one session, including the germ at a new personal best weight. Not to be left out on the action, his son Elliot chipped in with 9 carp up to mid-30s. Absolutely incredible action. Well done to both of you. Two other guys who had an exceptional year were Simon Davey and Lincoln Slater. Simon Davey's been around the scene for a very, very long time. We used to call him the trawler man back in the day, and he's been living up to that name on the main lake, where he's amassed an amazing string of big fish, but also multiple hits of fish. A lot of the A-team have been crossed off his list with the Germ, the Emperor, Bertie's Linear and various others. Well done, Simon. Lincoln Slater mostly fishes overnighters, and again has amassed an amazing string of A-team fish, including the mommon and the netted fish. So well done to both you guys, exceptional angling. Another of the members to experience some incredible action was no less than Scott Clark, who's had a very good year all round, but on one particular trip he amassed no less than 12 carp. And building that amazing memory with him was his son Taylor, so they went away with the mommon, XL Pecs and 1 or 2 other of the big A-team fish. What an amazing father and son catch, well done. Some of the new members were getting in on the action as well, and Simon Lincoln made a furious start, getting no less than 3 of the A-team members in short succession. These were topped by the incredible wood carving and backed up by both XL Pecs and the amazing forescale. Well done, mate. It's been incredible to see how much weight the fish in the main lake have been packing on, and to take one notable fish, the Nun, which has been one of the A-team members for a very long time now. That fish has been creeping up steadily. I caught it myself last year at just under 47 pounds, and now it's almost 48. It looks very likely this fish is going to be the next fish to go over 50 pounds in the main lake. We need to mention the Car Park Lake, of course, which, you know, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, it's a great place to dip onto, whether a new angler or whether you're very experienced. I go on there myself. I take clients on there. Nick and Luca have been down there a few times with me, and they've caught absolutely loads of carp, father and son action of the highest calibre. Mick and Steve Cuthbert, 2 brothers, have been down here for no less than 25 years they've been members, which again, you know, that is testament to what calibre of fishery you've got here. They've had rod bending action down there all year. A lot of personal bests, a lot of memories. As we said earlier, you cease to function as a fishery without your fish, and here at Fryerning, the fish are given the maximum respect and protection that they deserve. Biosecurity is a very, very real thing in this day and age, and with KHV on the rise throughout the country, Fryerning is determined to protect its stock at whatever level, and it's very rare to see a fishery do the length of protection that they've gone to down here. So there is a container and several other smaller containers, satellite containers around the site, which contain all of the fish care equipment that you're going to need to deal with one of these huge fish should you be lucky enough to catch one. There's always been a dry equipment policy on site, so the gear's all dried out, but now you don't need to bring your mat, sling or landing net. They're all provided for you, and that is a huge part of keeping this place safe for the future of all the people who come here to enjoy it. On top of that, there is a new security system. Members will be issued with brand new security cards. I've used it myself coming in a short while ago. It is state-of-the-art facilities down here, totally secure, cameras, toilets, showers, everything that you would expect from a fully fledged top flight syndicate. At the start of this year, we went live with the new fishery website, xlcarp.com. This has taken an enormous amount of time and effort writing content and uploading data, and I would say it's probably the most comprehensive fishery website anywhere in the country. If you visit it, you'll be able to see, you can study the swims, you can see the fish, you can find out what's going on a daily basis, because the guys here update it on a daily record. So any members that have catch reports or want to send in stories, photos of the fishery, please do so. We want this to be something that you can all use and enjoy. So upload content wherever you can. It's your site, please enjoy it. Just want to round off by mentioning something that everybody who comes to Fryerning notes as soon as they come through the gates, and that is how magnificent this site looks, even in her winter colours now. That's down to an amazing selection of trees that Chris and Charlie put in the early days, loads of evergreens. So a lot of lakes this time of year look so barren and naked, but Fryerning always has a certain visual appeal. The work that goes on behind the scenes down here by Chris, Charlie and Scott is absolutely unparalleled. There's always cutting, trimming, pruning, swim maintenance, tree planting, a huge amount of work because it's a big estate. But that's something that probably we take for granted when we walk down here, but this work is going on all the time. So a massive thanks to you guys from all the membership. Also to Phil Randall, who helped with renovating, updating and making the new shower and toilet block look really prim and proper. So thank you for that. Any of you guys watching this who are yet to come down, hopefully there's a few new members out there, because the fishery is one of the best, if not probably the best facility in the country, and certainly with the best heads of fish. If you're not a member, get down here and have a look around. The management will make you very welcome. By appointment, you can walk around and you'll see what I'm talking about. The fauna, the feel, and of course the fish all go together to make Fryerning absolutely exceptional. Hope to see you down here next year.